YTBC, what's the deal? Now I brought this guy's name up earlier when I was doing my Andre Ward versus who was he fighting? Sullivan Barrera, when he's getting ready to fight the Cuban Sullivan Barrera. And I brung up a guy named Roberto Balado in my video. I just referenced him to his type of movements. I don't see those type of movements in Barrera like I see in Balado or Rigo or other Cuban fighters that I've seen. So I just wanted to drop a video on Balado because I know a lot of people probably don't know who he is, but he won the super heavyweight gold medal in 1992 at the Olympic Games in Barcelona. He was a 5-time national Cuban champion. He was a world amateur champion 3 years. And also when he won the gold medal in 92, he won the Val Barker Trophy, most outstanding fighter. And I advise you guys to please go on YouTube and check him out, man. He died at an early age. He died 2 years after the Olympics in 1994. He passed away. I believe he was 25 years old. So in the Olympic Games, he was about 23. I believe I have his age correct, but 22 or 23 in the Olympics. And he was a 6 foot, 220-pound heavyweight. You know what I mean? And people sometimes get it confused. They think, you know, Teofilo Stevenson in the 70s and shit. Stevenson could have probably won medals up until about 84 probably, because he beat Tyrell Biggs, you know what I mean? But that's for another video. But I think he gets overlooked with Stevenson and Savan. You know, people really don't talk about him because he just, you know, got to compete just at one Olympics and, you know, and he passed away at such a young age. But man, I mean, this dude was so short. If you go watch him, he's making these dudes look silly now. Thank God for YouTube, because there's the Tom Glesby fights on YouTube, Oleg Moskiev. Now that fight, the Moskiev fight, all of the Olympic game fights are not on YouTube. The Larry Donald fight is not on YouTube, which I was dying to see. I want to see that fight because Larry Donald was like a Larry Holmes Ali. He was a decent pro when he turned pro too, but he was a very good amateur. And as an amateur, he was very fast hands, tall, nice size. So I want to see how that fight went, but it's not on YouTube. The Brian Nielsen fight, another guy who was a fringe contender type when he turned pro, but he just dominating these dudes, making them just look fucking silly, man. Like, he's stepping in with combinations and he's stepping back out. He's circling these guys. He's showing you how to win fights being a 6-footer just by using your legs, training your legs. I know a lot of guys train their hands. I've heard Andre Ward say this before and other fighters. But you got to learn how to train your feet and train your legs. It's not about just standing stationary and throwing combinations on the mitts or hitting the punching bag. You know, you got to learn how to train your legs. And this dude had exceptional legs. You know, you know, just the side. I mean, he had Brian Nielsen missing so bad. There was times when Nielsen would throw a right hand and Balado was so much out of the way, Nielsen's punches would literally hit Balado on his back. Hit him on his back or hit his lower back. I mean, this is how much Nielsen wasn't even in a zip code to land a shot. And it's like, if you were the type of heavyweight that needed your guy to be set to land, you were not going to beat him. So I don't know if he would have turned pro. We know a lot of those guys, especially back then. So Savan, they tried to get him out of the Olympics to fight Tyson in '96. You know, the 70s, you had Stevenson. They offered him $5 million to come out to fight Ali in '76. So, you know, Balado was overlooked probably because of his size. And if you had Balado stand side to side next to Felix Savan, you wouldn't think, because Savan was what, 6'5", 6, he was built. You just wouldn't think that Balado weighed more than him, but he weighed more, 220. The hand speed's crazy. I mean, he almost looked like a middleweight in there toying with big, slow fighters. That's what it looks like in all of these fights I'm watching. The Oleg Moskiev fight, then if you think he's a guy that just runs around the ring, then you're wrong, because ask Oleg Moskiev if Balado was a runner. I mean, he went in there and knocked him out in like 30 seconds of that fight. Hit him with a clean right hand. He just stepped in, boom, unloaded on him. What else is on YouTube? Now, there's a clip, a 1991 clip of the Pan Am Games where he knocks a guy out with a right hand off the back. Feels like a pull counter. He's going back a little bit. He's not leaping back, but just kind of a half step back. Boom! Right hand, dude didn't even see it coming, knocked him all around his fucking back. There's a few other fights. Sliven Russinoff, I believe I'm pronouncing that guy's name right, but that fight, the dude couldn't get off. I mean, Belado's just like dancing, just around the ring. For some of you might call it running, but then when he stopped and he'll step in with that 4 or 5 punch combination, or he was flicking that jab, he was out jabbing big men, doubling up the jab. It was just so fast. It was pretty fast, man, because he was doubling up jabs upstairs and then double jabs to the body and fast combinations. Um, he always looked calm as hell in the ring. He looked like a pro in there fighting with guys who were amateurs. He just made it look really easy. And just from what I've seen, now, I'm not saying I've seen every fight of this guy, but just for what I've seen and things I've read up on him, this dude was the goods, man. And it's just a shame the guys like Stevenson and Balado and a few other guys that didn't turn pro, so Savon, how things would have went, but we're talking 92. So could he have been, competitive with Holyfield or, Bowe or Ruddock or Witherspoon or Mercer, Foreman, Tucker, Lewis, Moore? Who else was around? I mean, he could have probably, got in there. Now, to me, he would have beat guys like Burt Cooper and Tyrell Biggs and Alex Stewart. I think he could came in there and got victories over them. If you were a guy, like I said, needed your opponent to stand stationary, and if this guy could hold up in a 12-round fight like this, he'll probably win fights. And if his chin held up, I mean, he did knock out Olav Moskiev, man. And Moskiev went on to have a version of the title, before he got beat by Samuel Peters. So Larry Donald, who ended up being a contender, and he, beat him. So I know it's the amateurs, man, but I suggest some of you guys just go and watch this guy. Just watch a few of his fights and just watch how this small guy, 6 foot or 220-pound guy, and you got to remember this is the 90s, so this when guys were getting to that 6'4", 240, the 90s, and then the 2000s when the heavyweights start to be bigger, that 240, 6'5", 6'4". So, and Roberto Balado was just holding his own, at least in the amateurs. I know it's the amateurs, but exceptional amateur fighter, man. Exceptional fighter. YTBC. I'm out.